Hello and welcome to the virtual pipe organ channel, and this is going to be tutorial number 2 for setting up GrandOrgue. A new feature that I just discovered with the help of a commenter on my first tutorial video will be changing the MIDI device names. This commenter had the issue of having two identical keyboards connected to their computer, and only one of them was being recognized by GrandOrgue and the other one would not connect. And after a few comments back and forth, this commenter had discovered the solution and shared the solution with me. I couldn't figure out how to do that right away because I think on the Mac computer that he's got, he probably has a different version of GrandOrgue than I do. But after some digging, I figured out how to do it. So I'm going to show that now. So under File, go down to Settings. Then in Settings, go to MIDI Devices. And then we're back to this MIDI device screen. And I touched on the first tutorial video about MIDI input devices and output devices. So just make sure that the ones that you're going to be needing to use are already selected. Then one by one, you click on the selected one, and then you're going to click on Matching. In the matching properties, we have three different sections here. One with the physical device name. Do not try to change that. You won't be able to. It's set. It's what the computer recognizes the device to be. The second one you can change, and that's the logical device name. And I suggest changing it to whatever would make sense for your system at home. Some of you might have an old console with all the stop tabs and that, so you just plugged in your USB cable to your computer. So good logical name, you could use what I use here as console or something else that's going to trigger you to remember and know right away when you're setting it up that, okay, that's the one I need. And as I discussed before, I have two Novation Launchpad Mini Mark IIIs, and they're selected here. So I'm going to click on the first one. And then as we go to matching, you'll notice that I named it under logical device name as left launchpad. So that sits to the left of my console, obviously. And then the other one, self-explanatory, named it right launchpad as it sits off to the right of my console. And then in your output devices, make sure you've named your output, the one selected for the output device is the same as your inputs. So this one's my left, as you can see there, and then that one's my right, as you can see there. And then you can click on OK when you're finished configuring that. So how does this look when you're setting up a sample set? Well, let me left click here on the foot pedals, and you can see that my device here is console. And then my event here is 9x note. I've changed that from 9x note to 9x note without velocity. And I think that's a better way to set up your keyboards and your pedal boards because organs are not pressure sensitive at all. They're digital, note on, note off. They're not like pianos. So good idea to just select as 9x note without velocity. And then of course the channel there of your in my case my pedal board's on channel 1. And I've already touched on lowest key and highest key, and then these velocity values as well. Something that I don't believe I covered on the last video was how this relates to stops. So I'm going to left click on the stop here, and this was one that I had just pre-programmed as an example. So I've programmed this to my left launch pad. And as you can see, seeing the device names like this makes life a lot easier than trying to keep track of the actual computer designation for the devices. just helps immensely. And then this 9x note on toggle, that's just so when I hit the corresponding pad on my launch pad once, it turns the stop on, and then to turn it off, you hit the same pad again, like this. So I've just hit this pad, turned on the board on 16 foot, hit it again, turned it off. That's the exact thing that you want. So that covers changing your MIDI device names and why you want to do that and how it makes it easier to set up your GrandOrgue console. Until next time, have a great day, evening, wherever you are. If you've liked this video, please like and then consider subscribing to my channel. And if there's any other topics you'd like me to cover in regards to GrandOrgue, please let me know down in the comments. Any issues you guys are having, again, feel free to let me know in the comments, and we'll try to work together as best as possible to solve those issues. Have a great one.